Hello everyone. Now we are going to talk about spatial operation part 2. Just a quick recap. In the part 1 we talked about what is a spatial operation and what are various types of spatial operation. And then we also talk about single point operation including an example and application area. Now in this we are going to talk about second category of spatial operation, which is neighborhood operations. And again we are going to talk about example and with application. Now, just recall that we define spatial operation having three categories: single point, neighborhood, and geometric. Now, in the single point operation, we were saying that the intensity value of individual pixel is going to be changed, right? So, when we defined operator T, we said that the T is going to alter the intensity value of individual pixel. But when we are going to talk about neighborhood operations, so in the neighborhood operation, the value of the pixel is going to be determined by a specific operation involving the pixel which are in the neighborhood of it, right? And here we are defining this set S of x comma y, which is nothing but it is collection of all those pixels which are near, or you can say which are neighbors of my pixel x comma y. Just recall, if we just talk about 8 connectivity or 8 neighbors, so we said that if this is my pixel p, we said that all these points are called as 8 neighbors of this pixel p, right? So here we are just have a look on this figure. In this figure we are saying we are having an image f, which we are getting image g after applying some operation. And here my operation is basically neighborhood operation, where the intensity value at one particular position is computed with the help of its neighbors in my transformed image, or you can say image obtained after my spatial operation, right? So just have a look here. We are defining a window of size m cross n. Here there is no restriction right now on the value of m cross n. Later on, when we are going to talk about filters in more detail, we will understand how we should choose these values, right? So this is the basic definition of neighborhood operation, that instead of individual pixel, now the value in this transformed image is going to be computed with the help of the pixels which are in the neighborhood of this particular pixel. So have a look here. Now suppose we have to do neighborhood operation, and the operation that we are defining is the averaging operation. Averaging means what? Take all the values, divide by the total number of value, as we do in the normal mathematical operation, mean or average. Now here look at the neighbors that we are defining. We are defining with the help of a 3 cross 3 grid. Now before doing this operation directly, let's have just a basic understanding. If we are saying we have 3 cross 3 neighbors, so how we used to define this neighbor? So let's, I am taking one pixel, say I am assuming I have this pixel, and I have to mention the neighbor of this pixel in 3 cross 3 grid. And if you will just design a 3 cross 3 grid and assume this is the center of my grid, you have to just match the center of grid with the pixel xy for which you are computing its value in the G image, right? Again, please recall, we had a transformation where we say that we are going to compute T of R, which is going to give me a value S in the G matrix, or you can say G image. And here R was for my image F of xy, which is representing the position coordinate xy. And here G is related to my output image, where we say that is my image G of xy. This we have already discussed in our previous lecture. So coming to the neighborhood, what we have to do, this 3 cross 3 grid, just align its central pixel to the pixel for which we are going to compute the neighbors. So if I am saying if this pixel P is this pixel, so just have a look that the neighbors of this will be the all the pixels which are now enclosed in the boundary which is created by me, or you can say this dotted line will form this neighbors. Now just have a look on the next pixel, that is if I am talking about this pixel. If somebody asks you what are the neighbors, again you have to coincide this window with the central pixel, or I should say the pixel for which you are computing a neighborhood, and then again draw a window. So you will find that they are actually shifting one position towards the right hand side, right? And let's have a look. If you are going to move your pixel one step down, suppose if I have to now compute for this value, that is 1 here, again coincide this central one to this part, draw this 3 cross 3 grid. So this 3 cross 3 grid is going to form the neighbors of this particular pixel, which is I am highlighting now in a circle, right? I hope with the help of this you are able to understand how to compute neighbors. But the next question arises that what if I have to compute neighbor of the pixels which are at boundary, like for this one, or the 7, or at this 6, or all the pixels which are at the boundary pixels. So here comes the concept of padding. So padding means what? We are going to append one row on the top, one row on the bottom, one column on the left, and one column on the right in this form. And we are going to initialize the value 0 to all these row and column that we have appended, right? Now if we have to compute neighbor for this pixel p, so we are going to again construct a window of 3 cross 3, and all the pixel values which lie inside this form the neighbors of this particular pixel, right? So please remember, by doing padding we are just trying to solve our problem for the boundary pixels, but it does not mean that the output image size is going to change, right? So output will be of the same size as of my input image. If my if just look at this input image, this is of size 6 rows, and just calculate the columns, it has 7 columns. So output must be 6 cross 7 matrix, right? So this we have the same question now. Just for our understanding that we have to do the padding, so we are just adding these rows and columns, and now we can compute the value over here, right? So the output will be of again 6 cross 7 matrix, which is equivalent to the input matrix, or you can say input image size. So if we are going to compute for this value, you can compute all the neighbors, and we know these neighbors are 0 because these are the padded values. And in this neighborhood, what we are doing, we are going to add the value 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus one more 0 plus 0 plus 7 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1, total 9 values, and all will be divided by 9 to compute the average, right? And you can see here this value come out to be 8 by 9. So suppose we are doing the ceiling operation, because we know in our image we keep only integer values as intensity, so this output will come as 1, right? In similar manner, you are going to compute its averaging corresponding to this particular pixel value, and going to write down the value obtained after doing averaging over here, right? I hope you will be able to complete this with the help of averaging operation as mentioned here. Now this is an application area where given this image, here the averaging operation is again performed with a window size of 3 cross 3, and you can see here this is how my results are obtained. This gives you some sort of a smoothing operation where we are not able to get the sharper images. It's something like blurring effect has been occurred here with the help of my averaging operation, right? So this is all about neighborhood operations in my spatial domain, or one of the category of spatial operation. And this is the reference book. I hope you are able to understand. Thank you.